Greetings. I'm Matthew Lasar and I teach U.S. history and I'm a cat lover. And it isn't very often that I'm able to merge an important historical figure with cats. But I think I found one such moment. So here goes. In April of 1949, just as he began his job as governor of the state of Illinois, Adlai Stevenson found a rather strange bill passed by the legislature sitting on his desk awaiting his signature. It was Senate Bill 93, known as, quote, an act to provide protection to insectivorous birds by restraining cats. The bill required the owners of cats who ventured outdoors to keep them on leashes. If owners did not do this, they would face fines. The law also allowed any person to catch and imprison cats at large or to summon the police to pick the feline up. It would also permit the use of traps, and it would apply everywhere in Illinois, even remote farms. The governor did not dispute that cats eat birds, a problem that scientists and bird advocates today say has become very serious, but he feared that the bill's harsh and invasive measures would set neighbor against neighbor across the state. And so he composed what many scholars regard as one of the most eloquent veto messages in United States history. Stevenson went on to run for president of the USA twice. He served as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations during the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962. But among some lovers of the English language and many lovers of cats, he is best remembered for his veto message against the so-called Cat Bill of 1949. Some have even likened the veto message to a poem. Adlai Stevenson wrote, I cannot agree that it should be the declared public policy of Illinois that a cat visiting a neighbor's yard or crossing the highway is a public nuisance. It is in the nature of cats to do a certain amount of unescorted roaming. Many live with their owners in apartments or other restricted premises, and I doubt if we want to make their every brief foray an opportunity for a small game hunt by zealous citizens, with traps or otherwise. I am afraid this bill could only create discord, recrimination, and enmity. Also, consider the owner's dilemma. To escort a cat abroad on a leash is against the nature of the cat, and to permit it to venture forth for exercise unattended into a night of new dangers is against the nature of the owner. Moreover, cats perform useful service, particularly in rural areas, in combating rodents, work they necessarily perform alone and without regard to property lines. We are all interested in protecting certain varieties of birds. That cats destroy some birds, I well know, but I believe this legislation would further but little the worthy cause to which its proponents give such unselfish effort. The problem of cat versus bird is as old as time. If we attempt to resolve it by legislation, who knows but what we may be called upon to take sides as well in the age-old problems of dog versus cat, bird versus bird, or even bird versus worm. In my opinion, the state of Illinois and its local governing bodies already have enough to do without trying to control feline delinquency. For these reasons, and not because I love birds the less or cats the more, I veto and withhold my approval from Senate Bill 93.